Suðureyri is a place which one of the Norwegian whaling stations used to be situated at, in Tálknafjörður, in the Westfjords region of Iceland. We are going to have a look at the ruins of it. The whales were sought after at the time because this was one of the main sources of oil at the time. There were no oil platforms or anything to drill for oil like we do today, but the whale was the main source of oil, and then they used the bones and the meat as well to make meal. What is special about the whale oil, what I refer to your question, is the sperm whale oil. That had no smell at all.
Which means no smell?
You could, like, in the head matter of the sperm whale, which is called spermaceti or ambergris, if you put something into that, like leaves of roses or flowers, it will make the smell much stronger. But you could use it as a oil for your lamp at the same time and had no odor from it there. So this is the factory, but the Norwegians left in 1915. Some species like so-called the Icelandic sléttbakur hasn't been seen for years, and the blue whales, for an example, they haven't recovered yet. This has to do as well with some other changes in the environment, like climate changes perhaps, but this has had a serious impact on the whale population. Actually, the Norwegian era, had a serious impact on the whale stock in the waters here, because it took them only 25 years to nearly drain out the whales in the oceans. Even with increased number of whaling boats to try to keep up the catch, even with increased number of boats, decreased. So it was like a serious impact on the stock. And in total, according to the references I've been having a look at myself, the total catch during the Norwegian era is 17,189 whale. That is like approximately 680 whales a year, and that is almost like 2 whales per day. That's quite a bit. And you have to take into account that they were not hunting whales in the wintertime. It was only a period during the summertime. So it had like a serious impact on the whale stock, and some of the stocks, like the blue whale, hasn't recovered yet. And it's 100 years since. Here's a pot which they used to melt the blubber in. So it was put on fire under it, so it had the boiling water in it, and you put the blubber inside. That way you could extract the blubber out of the oil out of the blubber. We are inside the factory house, and as you see, it's constructed out of bricks. Some of the bricks are even like marked with the producer of the bricks, but buildings like this, they are not common in Iceland, not at all, because we didn't have any bricks back in the time, and they were like imported to construct something out of them, like the whale stations. And behind me, I presume this is a place where they kept the steam kettles and boiled the blubber and produced the meal as well. They had to make meal out of the meat and perhaps the bones. I'm not sure at the time if they made anything out of the bones, but the meat they produced later on, when the season was coming to an end, and they went after the rotten carcasses and made meal out of what was left of it. Well, it works. I don't know. It needs a little bit of a lubrication, but I presume this is something to bend metal with, to bend metal in some way. There had been like wheels like those which had some bands on them or ropes on them to tune and turn around the equipment. One of the reasons why the Norwegians needed to build something like this, like a blacksmith over here, was to build parts if something broke down or some at the ships or their own machinery here. They would not go back to Norway to pick up some parts, that's for sure. So they needed to build a blacksmith over here, as well to reload and recharge the harpoons and the shots for the harpoon gun. The Norwegians just saw this probably as an opportunity, because they came over here. The whale population collapsed. They took the profit and left. So it sounds like a colony, you know. You heard this story before about some other nations going to some colonies, drain the resources and just leave.